Hi, this is Dave Cook with another thought from 100 Puddles. Today I had to engage in a series of conversations where the topic of the day was detachment. When we think about detachment, when we're talking to parents dealing with addiction, I think that that's one of the hardest lessons that we as parents have to learn, is discovering or finding a way for us to detach ourselves from the choices that our children are making relative to their addiction. At many points in time, we become embedded or engaged or enrolled in the fact that they're making choices and decisions, and we try and work very hard as parents to make sure that those choices are the right ones, the best ones, the correct ones, whatever words you want to use. And we become, in many respects, enablers because we start to do for our children what they cannot do or won't do for themselves. And the art of a detachment is where we as parents step back and empower our children to make the choices that they need to make. It doesn't mean that they're going to make the right choices. It doesn't mean that they will make the right choices, but it does mean that we have now decided or determined to ourselves that they have to start making the choices that they make. That's detachment. The other thing that comes with detachment is being comfortable with the fact that we've made that decision. I think that that's the hardest piece. Is a lot of parents say, okay, I'm going to let them do what they need to do, and then we start to worry about what those choices are going to be. And detachment is not only the act of declaring that my child is now empowered to make the decisions, but the detachment component also involves learning to let go emotionally at the time when you make that decision. The best analogy I can think of is I used to think about how I laid awake at night when my kids would first take the car out, would go out with their friends. And we'd set a reasonable curfew or a time for them to come home, say, let's just say it was 11 o'clock. And it was like 5 to 11 or 10 to 11, and I'd be thinking that I wanted to go to bed, but I'd sit there and I'd stay up a little bit longer, worrying about whether they're going to be home on time or worrying whether everything's going to be okay. And when they came in at 11 o'clock, then I'd go to bed and say, good, they made the right choice. And if it became 5 after 11 or 10 after 11, I'd start to worry and fret and try to wonder where they are, why they're running late, whatever, why they didn't call, and I'd start to track them down to figure out where they are. I wasn't truly detached from their ability to take the car. What I was involved as a parent. I had partially empowered them, but I was not emotionally disengaged. Then off they go to college and they separate themselves and they start living their own life. And then when they come home and they go out with their friends, I go to bed whenever, because I have now completely come to grips with the fact that they are making their own choices. That's detachment. And as a parent dealing with a child who's an addict, it certainly is an entirely different story than children ascending from high school to college and maturing and growing and developing. But the analogy is accurate in the sense that if we are going to empower our children to start making choices for their recovery, we also have to empower ourselves to let go. And that's what detachment really is about, is finding peace in our decision to empower our children to make the choices, and also find peace in our ability to detach from those choices because they aren't ours anymore to make. And that's where recovery begins, and our role as parents in managing recovery ends. I hope this helps provide some perspective. Your feedback is always loved, and I look forward to hearing from you again.